this is a bottle of Black and White. This is one of those brands that a lot of people will be aware of, kind of peripherally, I suppose. It's one of a lot of blended whiskies that kind of didn't survive the blended whiskey wars in the UK, but it is still made. It's owned by Diageo. Now you might be sitting there and thinking, like, why don't I see it? What's going on there? Diageo, you have to bear in mind, they're an international concern. UK is not their only market, not by a long stretch. So this is something that is still made, but you can only get it in international markets. So in order to have gotten this bottle, it's been bottled in this country, then shipped off to another country, and then shipped back to it for me to be able to buy this miniature. So isn't that fun? That's fun. That's real fun. It's a modern example. It's not a vintage one. I know sometimes on this channel we do cover antique bottles, like I've got some to hand. Here's a bottle of Passport. You don't see that anymore either, do you? I've very little information on this, to be fair. Passport Scotch Whisky. Lovely bottle. I should crack that open at some point. Comment down below. Would you like to see me crack open Passport at some point? Although it's not blue, so just putting that. It's a little Brexit check. Don't sue me. So, Black and White. There's a couple of dogs on there. There's a black one and there's a white one. Do stop me if I'm going too quickly for you. We're going to get this open. We're going to see what it's like. I'm not expecting a huge amount, but it is popular in other parts of the world. I think the French market, I think the French can't get enough of this stuff, apparently. But, you know, so there's that. That's fun, I suppose. I don't know if maybe Black and White means something rude over there. I don't know. But, let's pop that. You can't even see that. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so whiskey. We need to talk about blends, don't we? Blends are fine. There's nothing wrong with blends. I don't have an issue with blends. As long as the blend is, you know, made with an iota of respect, it tends to be absolutely fine. Andy over at Maltbox has more things to say about blends. He's actually doing a mini-series on blended whiskey at the minute, so you should go and watch him, because he has more thoughts about blends than I do right now. He has more thoughts about blends than I think most people do right now. So, you know, he's kind of your source for blend tech. No, that's something else entirely. They're blenders. Anyway, so Black and White. Used to be called House of Commons whiskey, I believe. Then they changed the name. It's not interesting, but it's, you know. Bananas. It's got like a fake butteriness to it, kind of like margarine. It's kind of vegetal, kind of like lettuce. Quite bourbon heavy, actually. A lot of like standard bourbon components. Quite corn-led. I mean, you know, fair enough. A little sweet, a little quite solvency on the nose. It's got a bit of an attack to it. Maybe a hint of like cherry, a little bit of cherry in there. Just fun, so much fun, and it is just kind of generically whiskey. Do you know what? If you handed me this and went, "What is that?" I'd be like, "Is that a bourbon? It kind of smells like a bourbon." There's no smoke, no really engaging qualities of any sort, but I mean, hey, nose isn't everything. You'll need to excuse me for a moment, because after insisting on being let out for 20 minutes, the cat now wants let back in. So, that's what that is. Ooh, in. Good boy. Well, rang out to you too. Yeah, huh? Ooh. Right, so let's taste it. Let's try it. Oh, well, that was unexpected. Parma violets and rice pudding. It's really rich and creamy. It's got a very thick mouthfeel. It's a little tobacco-y on the finish, quite floral, fairly sweet. Well, that was an unexpected surprise. All right, cool, I'm here for it now. It's very dry. There is an aspect of like a Madeira cake, quite buttery and rich, not terribly sweet. It's really rich and mellow. It's sweet, but not too sweet. It's kind of like a Madeira cake is what I'm going to have to say to it. There is like a slightly sweet element to it, but it's more about the richness and the butteriness about it. It's golden. I'm pleasantly surprised so far, it has to be said. There is a little bit of a tickle on the back, but honestly, it's not very spirit-driven at all. No gingery on the finish. Tiny bit of like a licorice kind of a presence. I'm quite enjoying this, to be honest. I'm here for it. I'd say that holds its own, to be honest, against, I mean, I don't know how much this goes for, but I mean, you know, I'd imagine it could fight its corner in a blind tasting, that, quite happily, actually. I'd be quite happy to sneak that in and be like, right, let's see if anyone gets that. Because it's got kind of like a Klein leash waxiness about it. So I feel like that could throw people. I'm just using this now as like, how could I fuck with people with this? That's, ooh, okay. It's 40%, but I'm going to stick a little water in it anyway. Because, you know, your grouse drinkers do sometimes stick a bit of water in because they've heard of it on the telly. Nose has gone very chlorophyll, very fresh cut grass, quite flat. Okay. Flavour wise, yeah, don't put the water in it. It just kind of thins it out a little bit. It goes a little bit astringent, a little bitter. Doesn't do it any favours. I've ruined that, basically. Yeah, 40%. Good dilution for it. I'd be interested to see what it's like. They're never going to release it at 46. Oh, that's a good blend. I'm happy with that. Here, Andy, if you watch this because, I don't know, you've been fired or something, I don't know, you should give this a go. It's good. That'll be him now telling me to mail him some. Yeah, that's nice. When you chug it, there's a little bit of like a pineapple flavour on the finish, but you have to like neck it to get that. On sips, you don't. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised by that. Very pleasantly. Maybe I'm just drunk. I don't know, but yeah, no, that's good. I'm liking that. I mean, it's not, you know, world changing, but I mean, yeah, I'd happily get that in a pub. You know, if they've got that and Glenlivet Found Reserve, I mean, no contest, go for that. But yeah, I would actually quite like to use that in like blind tastings or stuff. I mean, I hate doing blind tastings because I just look like a fucking idiot. I mean, I look like a fucking idiot anyway, but you know, more so. But yeah, that's a fun little whiskey. I'm glad I tried that. I can see why other. Do you know? I'm a little bit confused why we don't like it here in the UK. That's actually pretty decent, pretty fine, pretty all right. You know, again, not world changing, but it's all right. You know, it's all right. I'd imagine it only costs a couple of quid. It's good. It's good. It's worth your attention. Have you tried black and white? Maybe on holiday or something. Thumb this video if you enjoyed it, and do join me next time where I'll be drinking something else.